Hi, thanks for stopping by. Are you ready for your 37 questions?
Yeah, absolutely. Let's jump right into it.
Great. First off, what is your name?
My name is Kevin Fang.
Are you still a student?
Yes, I'm still a student and I'm still in school.
Which school do you go to?
I go to UC Berkeley. Go Bears.
What about your year?
I'm a rising senior this fall.
What do you study at UC Berkeley?
I study industrial engineering and operations research.
When you're not interning, what do you like to do for fun?
I like to ride around the neighborhood on my electric skateboard because it takes my mind off of things.
What would you consider as your dream job?
Probably be a content creator and travel the world.
That sounds so awesome. Let's shift gears a little bit and chat more about your summer. Where will you be interning?
I'll be interning at Adobe this summer.
That's so cool. Could you tell us a little bit more about what Adobe does?
Sure. So Adobe is a company that's most widely known for creating these creative tools for creatives such as Photoshop, Illustrator, and Premiere Pro. But they also have a wide collection of online marketing, web analytics, and PDF reader products as well.
What is your role there?
I'm interning there as a design program management intern.
Is there a specific product team you're on?
Yeah, I'll be working on the Photoshop design team.
Have you started yet?
I started about 3 weeks ago and it's been pretty awesome so far.
That's great to hear. How long will the internship last?
The full duration lasts 11 weeks, so I end around mid-August.
Let's loop back to your role. What does a design program manager do?
Yeah, so DPMs are generally just program managers on the design team. We're creative problem solvers that help establish efficient processes, as well as we help measure and track work progress for the design teams.
Who do you think would be a good fit for the DPM role?
Anyone who has a passion for the user experience, who can communicate openly and honestly, and has a go-getter attitude.
Fun question. If your role was an animal, which animal would it be?
It would probably be a hawk or an eagle, just because you kind of have to oversee a lot of different activities and priorities from a big picture point of view.
I think that's a great animal to pick for this role. Let's dive deeper into your interview process. How did you come across this opportunity?
So I saw a job posting on LinkedIn Jobs and decided to just shoot my shot and apply.
What kind of experience did you have prior to applying?
So previously I was involved in some UI UX design hackathons as a UX designer on the side. I'm also a co-founder and product manager of this club discovery tool that my team and I launched last fall.
Do you have any advice for students looking to land interviews?
Definitely pay attention to the job description because oftentimes the hiring managers are the ones that wrote it. Make sure that your resume and your interview responses speak very well to it.
When did you apply for this role and when did you receive the offer?
So I applied around early in January 2021, and I received the offer about a month later.
How many rounds of interviews did you have to go through?
So if I remember correctly, I went through a recruiter phone screen, a first round interview, a second round interview, so in total 3 rounds.
Got it. Who did you get to speak with?
I spoke to Caitlin Felix, who is my recruiter. I also spoke to John Steindl, he is my hiring manager. And last but not least, for my final round interview, I spoke to 2 senior program managers, Rachel Castillo and Alicia Moody, both of whom I'm working very closely with during my internship, and they're all really amazing people.
Could you give us some examples of questions you were asked during your interviews?
Sure. One of the questions was, tell me about a time where you resolved a difficult conflict. I also got asked, how do you see design sort of fit into the overall product development lifecycle?
Wow, that's so cool. If someone was looking to recruit for this role, what is the #1 question they should prepare for?
Be prepared to give some examples of managing competing priorities and deadlines and your approach to solving or dealing with tight timeline situations.
I totally agree. I think that is super helpful. Let's switch gears again. I'm super curious about your experience so far. What kinds of tasks are you doing on a day-to-day basis?
So I am hosting meetings, curating agendas, facilitating more discussion between various stakeholders in meetings. I'm also documenting the best practices and workflows of the design teams.
How would you describe the work culture at Adobe?
I think it's been pretty fun. I've been learning a lot, just pushing my boundaries every single day. I find the work to be really meaningful here.
What has been your favorite part of the internship so far?
Definitely the people, the one-on-ones that I've been having with the people on my team.
What has been the most challenging part?
The most challenging part, it would definitely be navigating through the remote environment, just because it's just so much easier to work in a real office space and tap on your neighbor's shoulder and ask for help.
What about the most surprising part?
With a large company like Adobe, sometimes there are a lot of moving pieces involved. And even if one small feature were to be slightly tweaked, there needs to be a lot of cross-collaborating between various stakeholders just so everyone's aligned on the same page.
Wow, that sounds pretty complicated. What advice do you wish you were given before starting the internship?
Probably knowing how to use Photoshop.
What kinds of activities does Adobe have planned for their interns?
So the University Talent team does a really amazing job at planning this. We have intern socials every single Friday. Last week we had a virtual escape room. This week we were playing some online games, and I think in the next 2 weeks there's going to be a chocolate making session and a sculpting class, which I'm very excited about.
Wow, that sounds so fun. Do you get to work with any other interns?
Unfortunately, no. I'm by myself on my project, but occasionally I do get to interact with the other intern through joint team meetings.
What do you hope to accomplish by the end of your summer?
I want to be seen as a strategic resource for designers, engineers, and product partners on the Photoshop team.
All right, just 4 more questions. I'm sure a lot of people are curious, but what is the compensation range for your intern role at Adobe?
The compensation range for me is about $20 to $30 per hour. But fun fact is that Adobe interns do get paid a one-time bonus of $8,000 after working 45 days.
Wow, that sounds super awesome. Are you proud of where you've taken your career so far?
I would say so, but I still have a lot of room to grow and a lot to learn.
If you could give freshman Kevin one piece of advice, what would it be?
Be patient, let things happen organically, and let nature take its own course.
If someone is interested in learning more or connecting with you, where can they do that?
Yeah, feel free to connect with me on LinkedIn. If you just search up Kevin Fang and Adobe, I'm sure I'll pop up in one of the results. But yeah.
That's great. Thank you so much for joining us, Kevin.
Thank you so much for having me. Again, don't hesitate to reach out, and best of luck on your future career endeavors. Bye. Sorry, what was the question?